A space weather forecasting centre has been inaugurated in Adelaide to help Australia's space industry prepare for space weather events. So what will the centre do?
So look, the Bureau of Meteorology has been doing this for quite a while, but they've eventually, as you said, formally opened this center to bring a bigger focus of space weather forecasting. So just as we forecast weather here on Earth, and that can tell us, how to be prepared. Is it going to rain? Is it going to be sunny? Is it going to flood or have those storms in space? This is about saying when these solar storms erupt, and this happens quite often on the sun, is it going to hit the Earth? Is it going to affect infrastructure on the ground in Australia or Australian infrastructure in space? And this is the key. It's focusing on Australian-based assets because space weather is a big deal. We have seen solar storms that have disrupted GPS networks. Bigger storms can disrupt other satellite networks like internet, even banking, communications, and if it's really big, it can affect actually electrical systems on the Earth. So this is really saying this is becoming a bigger thing, and as space becomes a bigger part of our role, Australia needs a dedicated center just to monitor this. So it's a really important step and a good initiative by the federal government to say, look, we can't ignore this. We're growing more and more dependent now, and we can't rely on overseas partners to do the forecasting and look out for Australia. We need to do it in-house.
Yeah, it's good for Australia, as we know, expanding in the space industry. So it's good to have something local like that, no doubt. Now, Brad, the SpaceX Crew 5 mission launched early Thursday morning. What's the aim of the mission?
So this is becoming quite regular for SpaceX now. They're doing these 5 to 6 month rotations on behalf of NASA. So where they send astronauts up, they do experiments, conduct operations on the International Space Station. Which makes this one quite interesting is this is the first time, firstly, a Native American woman is going into space, the commander of the capsule, and somewhat quite important for nowadays, there's a Russian cosmonaut on board. So in the past, a lot of these missions, these kind of stays have been taking Americans, Russians, and a few other countries together. Now, obviously, with the war in Ukraine, tensions have been high even in space. And we've seen Americans still going with the Russians on the Russian capsule, but this is the first time a Russian has gone on the SpaceX capsule. And so even with all the tensions on board, they're still finding ways of cooperating in space and advancing their cooperation in space. And so this both puts forth the research and science interests of not just the US, but Japan with that Japanese astronaut and Russia on board. So it's as much a good sign for science as it is international peace and diplomacy.
Good to hear. Brad Tucker, we do have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Take care.